Welcome to the day 28 of the 30-day challenge, Lovingly Yours English. We have come quite along in our journey of bettering our language or getting our language into a flawless nature. Yes? Today on day 28, we are going to look at an aspect of vocabulary that is going to open a world of possibilities for all of us. And once we learn this particular entity of English language, we are going to increase our vocabulary multifold, because from one word we are going to make many different words, and each one with different shade of meaning. Yes? Do you want to make your language crisp, smart, effective, to the point, more meaningful, quicker, yes, exciting, effective, efficient too? Interested? Join me into the workroom of day 28. Deep learning, that's what we are going to do today in our workroom of the day 28. Now, we're going to study a group of words which are, an incredible part of a daily conversation. So if we want to make our language sound natural and fluid kind, we need to get these groups into a language. And they are called phrasal verbs. They come in groups with different meanings. So shall we begin? So to learn phrasal verbs, we need to know the simple verbs that we have in English language. How many verbs are there? Too many verbs, and that's why too many of phrasal verbs. But because phrasal verbs are, they come in groups, there are almost nearly 6,000 phrasal verbs in English language. They're very common, and because they are in such a huge number, it's a challenge to study them. It's a challenge. So what are we going to do? We are going to stick to a plan that we are going to work out through this session so that we enable ourselves in making our language. Look at the sentences on your slide so that you will get a slice of what we are into in today's workroom. The plane took off. He took off his coat. They took $10 off the price. So what's happening to these sentences? You can see one pair is repeated in all the three different sentences. The plane took off. He took off his coat. They took $10 off the price. Now look at these three sentences. It's the same team, took and off together as a group. They are coming in all the three sentences, but each sentence has got a different meaning. In the first sentence, the plane took off, wherein it means that plane has, it has left the ground. Okay. Now, in the second sentence, he took off his coat. Now, he took off here is not left the ground, but here it means removed his coat. Now, in the third sentence, they took $10 off. Now, what is taking $10 off? Here, the meaning is deducted or discounted, okay, reduced. So it is often not easy to guess the meaning unless we have a lot of context. So we may not be able to guess at the meaning from the context, but it is only out of lot of practice that it comes. So why do we need phrasal verbs in our language? Why do we need to study them? Why do we need to include them in our spoken language? Because our language will become more natural, it'll be more relaxed, nice to hear, it'll be more quicker, it'll be sharper, effective. The purpose of language and purpose of communication is to make things better between the people who are talking. Phrasal verbs have a big role to play in making our language fluent, in making us fluent speakers of English language. Look at some more sentences. She learned some Italian by practicing it rather than being taught during her holiday in Rome. So what is the sentence telling? It is telling that instead of being taught, she learned this language by practicing it during her holiday in Rome. The sentence in the same structure looks too long. But look at the second one. She picked up some Italian during her holiday in Rome. She picked up. Just that one phrase, picked up. Picked up is actually contributing, is actually taking away a big chunk of the sentence, what we had in the first one. Now look at the second sentence. How does it look? Yes, it looks more crisper, it looks sharper, and it is actually more meaningful also. She picked up some Italian during her holiday in Rome. So the second sentence with that phrasal verb is more concise. Concise, crisp, and sharp. So the phrasal verb here, picked up, is making it more efficient and very effective. And that's the purpose why we are going to study phrasal verb. So now let us look into the mechanics or the technicalities of the phrasal verb. What is a phrasal verb? How does a verb become a phrasal verb? So for that, we need to first know what is a phrase. We know what is a verb. Yes, verb is an action word. Okay. Now what is a phrase? Phrase is a group of words. Now if there's only one word, we call it word. But when it is more than one, we call it a phrase. More than one or two or three. Yes. So let's look at the technical definition of phrasal verb. So phrasal verb, it's a monosyllabic verb plus a particle. So there are two parts to a phrasal verb. One is the verb itself and the second one is the particle. So main verb plus a particle is called a phrasal verb. And this particle, apart from that main verb, can be a preposition, can be an adverb. So technically, phrasal verbs are constituted with one monosyllabic verb. Monosyllabic in the sense, very simple verbs like come, go, bring, look, take, set, stand, put. These are only a few that I'm listing here. But any verb that is monosyllabic, you don't get two sounds when you say that. You just have one. For example, to understand syllabus, for example, the word beautiful. Beautiful. There are three. Beautiful. So the verb is monosyllabic and the particle also mostly it is monosyllabic. Look at this. Particle, prepositions or adverbs, they are also monosyllabic like on, in, at, by, for, to, up, down. Again, we have some exceptions. Okay, exceptions will always be there. So some of the exceptions are across, about, over, open, right? So let's look at the next slide to get it little more clear. You can see the two columns where you have under the heading one word, you have few sentences, and then you got another few sentences under verb plus particle, that is the phrasal. They came. Here the verb came is only just one. Okay, they came. She jumped. Bring me a book. So bring me a book, bring is the verb. So you can see all three verbs are just one. Okay, just one word. Now look at the sentences, same sentences again. They came in. So here the verb come has come with another preposition which is came in a together, in a group. They are two different words like come in. They are two words but they act as a single unit. Okay, this is very important. We must keep in mind. Phrasal verbs always act as a single unit because we cannot look at it from a different, each you just divide or segregate all the words and get the meaning. No, it cannot be done. Phrasal verb is a single unit. Okay, it's a team, a very good team. So they came in, she jumped out. Bring up the chair. The next slide is again going to throw more light on the combinations, the monosyllabic verbs with the monosyllabic particles. Particles which are mostly prepositions or adverbs. Okay, let's look at that. Look at this. Go up. Go up. Come down. Bring in. Turn out. Switch on. Switch off. Look on. Now, if you look at this, these combinations, apart from the verbs, the particles are actually also telling you about the direction. Yes, go up, come down, bring in. Okay, bring in, turn out, switch on, switch off. Yeah, look on. You can see that the phrasal verbs are giving a direction. They're telling about some, a movement, a space. Yes, what is happening, going out or coming in. There's a movement and there's also a direction. Technically, the phrasal verbs can be divided into two kinds. I told you that they act as one team. Even if they are separated for some time, the meaning that they bring in is the same which they bring out when they are together. So there are some phrasal verbs which mostly always stick together, and there are some phrasal verbs which can have some distance between them, but still the meaning remains the same. Okay, so we are going to, in the next slide, we are going to look at some of these verbs which can be separated, some of these phrasal verbs which can be separated and which cannot be separated. So the verbs which cannot be separated are called intransitive, and the phrasal verbs which can be separated, they are called transitive. Whether separated or together, there's no change in the meaning. Okay, look at the slide. He picked up his pen. Here the phrasal verb picked up, where pick is the verb and up is the preposition. Picked up. Only the tense is changed. Okay, picked up. So this is another important factor in phrasal verbs. They change according to the tense of the sentence. Okay, they can be changed. Now pick up becomes picked up. That's past tense. Picking up. Picking up is present continuous. So phrasal verbs also change according to the tense. They are flexible and render beauty to the language. Let's look at the slide. So he picked up his pen. He picked his pen up. You can see the phrasal verb picked up is separated in the second sentence. He picked his pen up. Still, the meaning remains unchanged. It's not affected by the distance between them. She looked up the word. Looked up. She looked the word up. Okay, again, there is no change in the meaning. The traffic held up the team for a few hours. The traffic held the team up for a few hours. You can check in these sentences that though the phrasal verbs are separated, they continue to act as a unit, like true friends. Yes, distance doesn't matter between true friends. Let's look at the intransitive verbs. They cannot be separated, because if they are separated, they are not true friends. Okay. She has to look after her mother. So the phrasal verb look after. Look is the verb and after is the preposition. So she has to look after her mother. Look at the second sentence. She has to look her mother after. No, it doesn't give any sense. Yes, she has to look her mother after. No sense. Look at the next one. He got over the shock soon. He got the shock over. Stop picking up on your brother. Stop picking your brother on. Now, the second sentence, in the second usages, I have highlighted these sentences because they are not correct usage. Because if you're going to use the same phrasal verb with the same meaning, then the second sentence does not bring out the meaning which is brought out by the first sentence. Okay, so that is why I have put them in highlights, so that please do not use. It's not about the usage of the words in separate ways, okay, separate units, but we are talking of using the phrasal verbs as one unit. So the intransitive verbs, if separated, do not give out the meaning which they give out when they stand together. Okay, so you just can phrasal verbs have two kinds: true friends and the other kind, which always wants to stay together. Yes, distance matter. Now we are going to look at the most important feature of a phrasal verb. Okay, how do they get or bring out the meanings when they come together? Now, based on meanings, again, you can separate the phrasal verbs group them into three groups. So three kinds when we consider the meanings. Now the first group, phrasal verbs. Some phrasal verbs keep their separate meanings though as a single unit. Okay, come in, go out, switch off, cut down. Now here, each of them has got a meaning. Now come, okay, you're coming. Where are you coming? You're coming in. So the preposition in and the verb come, the meaning remains same. Okay, go out. Now go out. So the meaning is there for the verb and the preposition, right? In the second group, the main verb carries the actual meaning and the particle is only supporting it. The meaning is intensified, the meaning is raised, it is boosted, it is increased. For example, yell out. Yell out. Yell is already shouting out loud, yes? But yell out, it is raising the degree of yelling, right? So yell out. Hurry up, come on, hurry up. Hurry itself is telling you, come on, you can't be lazy, you can't be sitting at a place, you have to do quick. But hurry up means quickly, get up, get going. So it's intensifying. Again, start off right away. That means start right away is also good, but when you say start off right away, that means no breaks. Come on, get going, get to the task immediately. Okay, so this is the second group of phrasal verbs. So the first two groups are easy to understand. We can understand the meaning from the context. There's no difficulty. Now, the actual challenge lies in the third group. It is here that the individual meanings do not matter. What matters is the way they come together and they get a different shade altogether. Third group actually poses the maximum difficulty to the people who are not native speakers, for whom English is their second language, right? So we have to back up our knowledge and our practice in the third group, where we cannot get the meaning from the context. Okay, let's look at that. So the third group is where the phrasal verb acquires a new meaning. For example, bring up. So bring up. The verb bring, what is the meaning? You want somebody to fetch something. Bring up. Up what? Fetching something up? No, cannot be. So individual meanings don't matter. But bring up, when it comes together, it is, giving out a beautiful meaning of nurturing, bringing up children, right? Bringing up. It's got a beautiful meaning. Give in. The main verb give, giving, yes? Inside, something showing in the boundaries or within. Now give in. It doesn't show the meaning that it is used for. Now give in here, a very strong word. Almost its meaning is surrendering, you giving in. Yes, you're giving in to somebody's pressure. Okay. Make up, run into. Now here it means suddenly, by accident, you meet somebody. So you say, I ran into Shashi Tharoor. So it is with the third group that we have to be very careful, because majority of phrasal verbs belong to this third group. We cannot easily guess the meaning, and the context does not always help. So the only way to understand the meaning of phrasal verbs is always make it a point to use a dictionary. That's the only savior. Use a dictionary to come to to get the exact meaning of the phrasal verb, the team, right? The team which has a new meaning when they come together, right? To understand it further, I want you to look at one verb. So this one word, when it gets combined with the different kinds of particles, it completely changes. It, metamorphosis happens to this particular verb. And this is the possibilities which I was talking to you in the beginning of the session. Immense possibilities to increase the vocabulary with one word, and when it combines with different words with new meanings. So opening up a world of possibilities. Look at the slide. So let's look at one example and the radical change in the meanings when it gets combined. So the main verb here is bring. Now it's going to get combined with bring about, bring in, bring off, bring down, bring up. Okay, so we are going to look at how this meaning changes. What is a metamorphosis happening when the combinations are different? Yes, we are also like that. Human beings, the moment we combine with different people, the different shades of our personality emerges out. So look at phrasal verb as another personality which also has its moments of change. So look at this person called bring when it changes its friends, what's happening to it? So bring about. C19, that is the new way of addressing coronavirus. Coronavirus, COVID-19, and now it is called C19. C19 has brought about a lot of improvements in lifestyles. Yes, because C19 has taught us how to live with limited resources, and we are not living to eat, but we are eating to live. That's the biggest change in the living style. Look at bring when it combines with in. Bring in. Now here, the state legislature has brought in a bill on smoking in public. So brought in here refers to introducing something. Earlier, bring about. What does bring about? Here, bring about meant a cause, some reason because of which something has happened. That is bring about. Bring in meaning introducing something. Okay, now bring off. The bowler brought off a difficult catch to dismiss the batsman. Now we're getting into the field of cricket quite a long time. So here, bring off, the word bring in, getting into another shade, which is from this sentence, what we come to know is brought off is to do something successfully, right? So the bowler brought off a wonderful catch to dismiss the batsman. So it's done, doing something wonderfully or successfully well. The central government is trying hard to bring down the C19 cases. Bring down here, bring down, referring to what is the meaning? To reduce, to lower the number of cases, okay, to pull it down. Then bring up. Bring up, parents bring up their children in a humble manner. So bring up means nurturing, seeing them grow in front of them, helping them grow. Bringing up is nurturing. There is one more point to keep in mind regarding phrasal verb. Now, the same word that occur as a genuine phrasal verb can also appear in other contexts. Okay, so we must keep that in mind, that when these words come, always don't look upon them as phrasal verbs. They can have different functions also. Yeah. She looked up his address. Looked up is coming together, and here it is a phrasal verb. She looked his address up. Again, it is a transitive phrasal verb where it is separating itself. Still, the meaning is same. Look at the third one. When he heard the crash, he looked up. Now here in this third sentence, it is talking about the direction. Looked up. He's looking up. There's no inherent meaning inside. No complex meaning inside it. Okay. So it is simple, a phrase. It's not a phrasal verb, right? He looked up when he heard a sound. So he looked up when he heard a sound, and he looked up into the sky when he heard a sound. Here both, it is only talking about the action of looking up. Nothing complex in its meaning. Okay. We will understand the nuances of the phrasal verbs only when we start learning, and we have to make it a habit if we want to make our language flawless. In the next slide, I have just put a few phrasal verbs which have come, which have been in too much of use during this C19 period, the COVID-19 period. And look at the slide. So C19 phrasal verbs: lock down, shut down, close down, clean up, put up with, get through, stock up, take stock, care for, look after, stick together, dress up, put on. Our Home Minister is taking stock of the situation in Delhi. Yes, we need to stick to a plan which all of us have decided on with. Okay, so sticking together, stick to is being together to what is decided, right? And then you have dress up. During the lockdown time, there is no need to dress up. We dress up for some occasion. We dress up when we go to meet somebody, when there's a party. Yes, so we're not dressing up in that particular manner. Okay, in dressing up manner, but we are dressing up ourselves in order to look good to ourselves. Yes, because we appreciate ourselves. Remember, we must appreciate ourselves. So what I want you to do is, during this lockdown time, or during this COVID-19 time, get into the maximum write-ups on this coronavirus situation across countries. Listen to the news, whatever you can lay your hands on, and collect as many phrasal verbs you can. Okay, there are many in the list, but that is not the task for today. Okay, so we've learnt about what is a phrasal verb, why do we require it, and how do we strengthen or enrich our vocabulary with the phrasal verbs. So now it's time for task for the day. So what is the task for today? There are two phrasal verbs which I've written, which will come onto your screen next. I want you to just look into the dictionary and find out, there's another secret to phrasal verbs. There are some phrasal verbs which don't limit their meaning to just one usage. The same phrasal verb has different shades of meaning. So this is what I want you to find out. The two phrasal verbs, bring down and clean up. I want you to look into the dictionary for the meanings of these two phrasal verbs and note down the change in the shades of their meaning in different uses. Whenever they are used, it's in a different context. Okay, there are many phrasal verbs which are versatile. That means they have different shades of meaning and depending upon the usage. Okay. Now, the complex nature of phrasal verb has a tendency to frustrate the learners. We need to keep ourselves immune to that frustration because we are on a journey to get flawless in our language usage. Okay, so what we need to do is also keep one thing in mind, that please do not learn phrasal verbs in alphabetical order. Now you have got when you browse in Google, you have lists of phrasal verbs across different sites you have. So please do not go according to the arrangement of phrasal verbs, but then take topics that you love and try pulling out phrasal verbs, looking at the meaning in the dictionary, and then start using it. So when you use that's what is personalizing. When you personalize a thing, when you allow the space for it to come closer to you, it stays longer and stronger. Okay, and that is what our motive is at Friends of English, right? So until I see you in my next video, stay home, stay safe, and stay calm. Think intelligently. Subscribe to my channel. Please share it among your friends, and please click like buttons if you like the